Tonight's DJNTV show is sponsored in part by Electro Voice, DJ Event Planner, ADJ, NLFX Professional, Promo Only, Newmark, and DJNTV Insiders.
How does that line go? A smart person learns from their mistakes, but a wise person learns from the mistakes of others? What's up, my good vibe DJ tribe? This Ask Kilma question comes from Carson, and it actually reminded me of that line because he wants to learn how to avoid mistakes while also finding some creative ways of marketing himself. So let's jump right into it. He asks, what type of things could I do to market myself and the artists on my label better? Or what things should I not do? Do you have any tips? So let's jump into number one, because even though it might not seem super important, I feel like so many of us make this mistake. You really want to avoid bad press. What does that mean? Everything you post on social media is a press release, from pictures to videos, the things you comment on, the things you like on Facebook. You're voting, you're letting people know what you believe in. So that joke you made that you thought was super hilarious but ended up being really offensive, anybody can go back and see that and think, this is what this dude's about. Even though that might not be how you feel about it anymore. Pictures of yourself, maybe super drunk at a party. People can screenshot that and use that against you later. It sounds really silly and immature, but as success starts to come your way, people can get a little mean. So it's really important to get all of that garbage off of your social media, or at least try to avoid posting stuff like that when it has nothing to do with your brand. And yes, I'm even talking about your personal page. Number two, avoid unnecessary conflict. Yes, unnecessary conflict. What does that look like? Well, say for example that you have a DJ gig and you need to establish the expectations that you and that promoter have. So that could be payment, that could be DJ gear, that could be what commitment they want from you as far as marketing. If you don't establish what equipment you need and you show up at the club and it's not there, you're running into conflict. Conflict that you could have avoided by simply having a conversation about what gear would be there and what requirements you had. This could also be something like payment. Say, for example, a promoter had no interest in paying their artists unless a certain amount of people walked in the door. Again, conflict you could have avoided had you just set out your expectations or requirements for payment up front, or at least known that you wouldn't get paid if there wasn't enough people there. I'm not saying that's the right way of throwing an event, but I am saying that if you at least know what's going on, you can make a decision from there whether or not you want to even take that gig. Number three, educate yourself in so many freaking ways. So for example, you're a label owner. You want to educate yourself on the financial aspect, the legal aspect of what you're going to need to do. Another big thing, you mentioned marketing. You're going to want to know how social media works, because how one platform works is not the same as the next. And one really great way of educating yourself is reading books or going on YouTube to influencers like Gary Vaynerchuk, whom not only talks about this all of the time on his YouTube channel, but wrote a really amazing book called Jab, 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 Right Hook and Crush It. Why now is the time to cash in on your passion, or crush it on your passion. I can't remember. I read it. It was amazing. These are books that are incredibly helpful in helping you figure out how to market your brand best, because everybody's brand is so different. Number four, know thy brand. One of the biggest mistakes I see artists do is brand confusion. They don't know what direction they're going in, and people don't know what their brand represents. Maybe they are a trap label, but they continue to play hip hop, and they also have drum and bass artists. So people can't figure out exactly what they get when it comes to their label, or Maybe it's a DJ. They play house music, but they also play weddings, and people can't figure out, like, are you a club DJ? Do you do weddings? Are you underground? I don't know. So try to avoid brand confusion by actually knowing your brand and what you want that to represent. If you know that, you can go on to number 5. Create a plan. Oh my goodness, this is so important, because if you don't have any direction, you don't know what you want this label to represent, where you want it to go, how successful you want it to be, then you can't really create a plan, right? So one of the ways that I like to create plans by taking a look at other labels you'd like to be as success-wise. So it doesn't necessarily mean your branding looks the same, but that you can look at their label and see the things that they did to gain that success, whether it's the quality of artists that they've signed on, whether it's what publications they have online, offline, in magazines, which brings me to the fun part, the marketing. So you're avoiding the bad press, you are avoiding the unnecessary conflict, you are educating yourself, you've got a focus for your brand, and you're starting to build that roadmap by knowing what other successful labels and artists have been doing. So for example, you could take your music and send it off to artists that are playing similar genres so that they can play it out to their events. Now suddenly you've got a video of this super awesome DJ playing at this really big festival, and people are going off on your music. Now you've got the little clip to post on your Facebook that makes your label look more successful. Maybe it's getting your music out on the right radio shows. Carson, thank you so much for your question. Please let us know what happens with the label. We want to hear more about it. We want to share your success story. So let us know what worked for you, what didn't, what things you're going to change. And for the rest of you, please leave comments below on some of the different things that you had to learn the lesson by making the mistake, or maybe a really great book that you read that helped you on marketing yourself better. What are some tricks and tips that you have for creatively marketing yourself and also trying to avoid the problematic situations? Make sure you send your hashtag Ask Kilma questions on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram so I can answer them on Disc Jockey News TV.